and the offer that's been given to him, and then we're going to sort of bring in the Canelo.
There's some contention about that, by the way, right now, because people are saying it was the question asked at the press conference was if offered, but then the way he answers is as if he has been. But there's who's the Everlast guy, Ernie like Gabion, is it, or something like? He's out here saying there hasn't been an offer. Like, I don't know, but the way Caleb answers, you're going to play it. So there's a couple of clips, but
let's make sure I play the right one because I did not name them properly.
He kind of said the same thing, but
you're right. But I want to play both clips just in case.
They want me to take half a month off and then get right back to work after 3.5-month camp and 6 weeks of pre-camp. Like I said, don't be fooled. So we're gonna get to him. He got fights left on his contract. Why doesn't he go beat Billy Joe and Callum and become unified, and then I'll whoop on David and I'll become unified, and then we can fight for all the marbles? That sounds a little better to me. How far is May away though?
We're in February, March, April, May.
So that means take half a month off after a 3.5-month camp and then go right back to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just so they can try and get me when I'm overworked. So you control the narrative, then you control the media. They make an offer knowing that I just fought. So when we say no, then it seems like I'm ducking them. You control the narrative, you control the media. Don't let them fool you. Like I said, yeah, I'm a world champion. I'm a world-class fighter. I'm on my time. This is CP time. So,
so actually, should I play the Oscar clip now too? Just for
yeah, I can do. Yeah,
connect it all together.
Yeah, bring it all in.
You're stable.
Oh, should set the clip. This is Chris Mannix talking to Oscar about
Canelo offers.
Yes, thank you.
A lot of public back and forth in recent days about who he's going to fight. You have made offers to Billy Saunders and to Callum Smith. Where do we stand with Canelo's next opponent?
Well, there's been multiple offers out there. They're all on the table. It's funny because everybody talks a big game. Well, I want Canelo. I can beat Canelo. That's BS. Nobody wants to fight Canelo. They're all afraid of him. He is the superstar in boxing. And if you fight him, you'll make the most money. What's the problem? Pull the trigger. Let's make these fights happen. I've offered BJ Saunders a fight, and he's balking at it. I've offered Smith a fight. He's balking at it. I have 4 other guys that I can negotiate with and talk to. If you guys don't take it, then we're moving on to somebody else. But he will fight in May.
What's your timeline, though, on making a deal, though? Because, this time last year or last summer, there was a lot of back and forth, and it cost Canelo his date.
Time is running out. I have until Sunday, tomorrow, or Monday the latest, or else I'm moving on.
So, guys, we have, to connect it all, we have Caleb Plant, let's say allegedly at this time. Because, like you said, Rob, the way the question was presented did leave a little bit of ambiguity of whether or not Caleb Plant actually had an offer or not, or whether they were talking about a hypothetical. But Oscar's out there saying, look, Billy Joe, Callum Smith, obviously the 1 or 2 picked for them. If you guys don't take this offer, we have 4 other guys that we're in negotiations with, allegedly. Let's say, for argument's sake, that Caleb Plant is one of those 4 people. Okay, and we'll maybe talk about why Caleb Plant shouldn't or should take the offer as well. But who do we think are the 3 other names they are in negotiations with? I'm going to offer another one, Triple G. I think is obviously someone that they are talking with in some capacity. Not saying it's legitimate, they're trying to make that fight, but if Oscar sent an email to Matchroom or K2 saying, hey, let's talk about the Triple G fight, in his mind, he's negotiating with them. So Triple G, Caleb Plant for sure. Who else do we think are in negotiations with Canelo and Golden Boy?
You want me to answer that? Because I'll give you the 2.
Yes.
Andrade and Jamal.
Okay. Rob?
I think with the news of apparently Jamal was offered last May and turned it down, if we go with what Oscar said there's potentially he's had another offer or could be one of the other guys to offer. Obviously, you mentioned Smith and things. So the other one is one's Plant, maybe Jamal. I think Benavidez, possibly with Yildirim unavailable, that could be offered. I wonder if the other one in his head is still Murata, even though we know that's gone.
You could be right with that, yeah.
And yeah, Gary might be right. Maybe an Andrade, or maybe even
Bivol.
a Bivol. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that, but I mean, it's possible. The thing is, I forget who said it, and they were right when they said, I think it was on the telecast. I think it was maybe like Chris Mannix or like Sergio Moore or something like that, right? That Canelo now has so many options because he's participating in 3 different divisions at the same time. And that's kind of unique in boxing. We've never really had that. I would say, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Santiago's listening. Like, no, Matt, this person in the 1920s was in 4 divisions at the same time. I'm like, I'm sorry, Santiago. But because of that, he now has not just options in middleweight, but super middleweight, at light heavyweight. That's a lot of different fights he can take, that different champions, different levels of drawing power that he can sort of attach himself to in terms of a B side. It presents a lot of options for him that make it possible where a Bivol's in that running, or Andrade, or Benavidez, and that's not out of the question anymore. What do we think happens here with Canelo? Do we think he takes one of these more odd negotiations or rare negotiations, like with a PBC fighter, like Plant or maybe a Charlo, or do we see him stay in-house in the zone and still a Smith, a Billy Joe Saunders, somebody of that nature? And this is all just public negotiation.
You go first, Rob.
I think we'll still get either Billy Joe or Callum Smith, personally. But I think my outsider, does it go out of the zone? Does it go out of the zone? I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, it's easier to make if it's on that network, but I don't know. I still think it's one of Billy Joe or Callum Smith. They've turned the fight down. It's not turn the fight down. We just don't like that first offer. I think it will get ironed out, and it will be fairly soon that we hear that another offer has come in to either Bill. This whole thing is because like he named Callum Smith has turned it down in that first report from Dan Rayfield, and obviously Mike Coppinger brought it. He named just Smith. He didn't say, but the next day Eddie was asked, and he said, "Yeah, there's been offers for Billy Joe. There's been that, and we've turned them down."
But not the next day. It was the same day. It was just hours later.
Well, it was the next day for me because it was the night before, and then the next day was a press conference for, I think it was Avanesyan and Josh Kelly, or whatever,
for you, yeah,
or Josh Warrington's announcement or whatever. But yeah. So Eddie said we've turned both of those offers down, for both fighters. So I think they're just playing a game like Gary said on the show the other day. Whoever takes the least amount of money is getting this fight now. I think we don't know for sure that Plant got this offer now. There's people saying he didn't. Some saying he was asked if he were, but Plant kind of answered it as if he has. So he sends me an offer and he wants me to do that. I don't know. It sounded like he had an offer, or I don't know. Either way, it's a little bit, but I don't know. Whoever takes the least amount of money is getting this, but I still think it's between Billy Joe Saunders and Callum Smith.
Gary,
I wanted to. Okay, so I'm thinking here about this, and I think it's going to be Callum Smith or Billy Joe. I think it's going to be one of those two guys who gets the May fight with Canelo. But I think that the offer to Caleb Plant was real because, look, who is Canelo going to want to fight? Who's Canelo going to fight next? Whoever Canelo wants to, because he's the star, right? Make what he wants to happen, And I think he wants to fight Caleb Plant because people think Caleb Plant might be able to beat him. Caleb Plant's the best guy at 168 right now. He is. So I think he wants that fight, which is why I agree with what Caleb Plant said. If I'm Caleb Plant, I'm going to get one shot at Canelo. Beating Canelo makes me the biggest American star in the sport. I'm not taking that fight. I'm the king of 168. That fight's going to be there for me, okay? So I'm not going to take it when I'm not ready for it, right? And it's not that I'm not ready. If you want to make the fight in July, let's talk about it. But I'm not going to take the fight either overworked or on a short camp. When I take the biggest fight of my life, I'm going to be 100% prepared for that fight. And that fight's going to be there for me because I'm 27 and I'm the best guy in the weight class. So if Canelo wants to be the king of 168, it goes through me. I think that's actually the right plan. I'm not going to take it on his terms, okay? I'm the king of 168. So he's going to have to fight me, and when he fights me, it's going to be when I'm at my best, not when I'm on a short camp, not when I'm overworked. I think that's well played by Caleb Plant.
I completely agree with you.
Same. There ain't no like, oh, duck, you know. Like, see, the thing is, like, Smith and Saunders are getting this. What, they didn't take it? Oh, fucking ducking this, that, and the other. Right? They haven't got a fight scheduled, and they're waiting for the Canelo offer. So people are saying, well, there you go. You got what you were waiting for. But they want the perceived right money. And Canelo's potentially gone to Plant. I know you've just had a fight, but do you want to fight in like 2 months' time or 2 and a bit months' time? I'm like, no, fuck out of here. Call me when I'm like able to be ready for it, you know? I've got no problem with Plant doing this. I haven't really seen anyone saying like Plant's ducking, maybe the odd few, but it's like, yeah, whatever. You obviously don't know what. He's a young champion, 20 fights in to his career, and I want to. I'll do it on my terms. Saying, I know you're the big guy with the big checkbook, but come and see me when I'm at my best, not when I'm going to be, you know, overworked and this, that, and the other. And let's unify. You go, like you said, you go and unify. I'll go and unify, and let's make a massive, huge fight. So yeah, fair play to him, because maybe many would have just jumped at it, or but good, good
to play devil's advocate, because I agree with both of you, so I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Because you mentioned you only get one shot at a Canelo, right? Like, there's not a lot of do-overs with the superstar, right? Dude, stop! It's not Eminem song. Stop! Get out of here. You got spaghetti on your sweatshirt. Relax. There may be only one time you get an offer from a Canelo, even if he's 27 years old and Canelo's 29 years old. Theoretically, they have enough time and age to where they can fight even at a couple years from now, right? But it's Canelo. He might not need you in a year from now or 2 years from now. But he sent you an offer now. And he might have needed you in terms of leveraging for S. Smith or Billy Joe, but you could have jumped on it and sort of jumped in line. Is it a missed opportunity if Caleb Plant did get an offer and he's not taking it, when he largely went unscathed in this fight, looked fantastic, and theoretically could jump back into camp? It's not like he took any injuries, right? Like, he could, no cuts. Like, he's good to go again. And you could say this is a great tune-up opponent, short, stocky fighter. You can sort of just style on and just show your arsenal and stretch it out and flex it, and then 2 months from now fight the actual fight. Is there an argument that Caleb Plant should jump on an offer if he was presented one, and that, not that he's ducking Canelo, I feel like that's a stupid argument, but that it's just a missed opportunity because it may be your only offer that you're ever going to get for that fight that could make you the next big American superstar?
Sure, and that's the argument that Golden Boy and Canelo would present. Are you kidding me? You don't get to turn this down. You get a chance to be the biggest star now. You may never get this opportunity again, right? And there's obviously an argument for that side. But Caleb Plant, I would say, is betting on himself and betting on Canelo. Look, Canelo doesn't duck and dodge anyone. If it came out tomorrow that the whole world picked Caleb Plant to beat Canelo, he would make that Canelo fight, because Canelo doesn't care. Canelo fought Trout when he had the Mayweather fight all locked in. He doesn't care. Like, Canelo's crazy. He's got that little bit of Mamba mentality. He doesn't care. He thinks he's better than all these guys. So,
Gary. So Canelo doesn't duck for anybody. So you think maybe one of the four might be Beterbiev?
If I would not negotiate with them, but if Canelo demands it, what's Oscar going to say? No, you can't tell him no. He's the star. You're supposed to get him a pay.
No, via his lawyers.
I would not negotiate with. I don't know. I lost their number. I don't know what to tell you. Fight someone your own size. But if Canelo really wants to fight Better Beef, and he told him, Oscar said, do not fight Laura. You can't beat him. He's like, I'm fighting Laura. Oscar was right. He couldn't beat him, but he had to make the fight, right? Because that's the fight that Canelo wanted. If Canelo wants to fight Plant because he's the best guy at 168, Oscar has to make it. So I understand the other argument. I understand the pressure they would put on him. But I agree with Caleb Plant that this opportunity will present itself again in the very near future when I'm 100%.
Yeah, he's just trying to dare people. Like you heard him with Mannix there. He said, "Oh, they talk a big game. I could beat Canelo. I could do this. Will we send you off there?" And he balked at it. Sent him one, and he's balked at it. And it's like, look, you know what's going on. I said, but it's just painting the narrative, I guess, on the TV. And these guys who sent an offer for the biggest star and the biggest money, and they said they could beat him, and now look, they're not taking. It's just
and plus, I think that talking point, luckily or hopefully, is getting like people are aware of that talking point nowadays. I should say, like the boxing community, like we're aware when promoters say, "Oh, he was offered 3 times as much as he's ever been paid." That's a bullshit fucking talking point. Because if you're offering 3 times as much as he's ever been paid, that means you place that value on him. That means you think he's worth that much. And on top of it, all these fighters that are watching the market right now and seeing guys like Jacobs, Triple G, all these guys that can't sell a pay-per-view worth a damn are getting multi-8-figure deals, equity in multi-billion-dollar companies too. So yeah, all these fighters are looking for the biggest check possible, even more so than usual in the old paradigm, because everything's different nowadays. And on top of it, you have been making it that way to Zone, Eddie, or PBC, or whoever. You have inflated the market so much, you can't then go say, "Oh, well, I've offered this guy so much more than he's ever been paid." Of course you have to. It's the biggest fight, and the market demands it. You're admitting that with your offer.
Look, Canelo signed that deal for like, what was it, average out at like $33 million per fight?
36.
Yeah, whatever. So it's like, well, he's getting that. I'm a world champion as well. He hasn't got a world championship belt at my weight right now. He's got a baby belt, whatever. I'm like, if it's Smith, I'm the WBA super middleweight, whatever, of the, just call it the middleweight belt, super middleweight belt. But so then I'm worth something, right? And it's not that, because that guy over there, the over the hill alcoholic Russian, he got sorry, I forgot his name. Oh, Kovalev, that's it.
And air quote, alleged woman beater as well.
But yeah, we just haven't had video of that one. Yeah, like he got that, or it's all in the papers, in the news, on the internet. Danny Jacobs, he got 15 million. Oh, like, so why is mine 6? Or let's not forget, Callum Smith won the first running of the World Boxing Super Series. He ain't light of a big check. That final, I think it was like 5 million for the winning the World Boxing Super Series final against George Groves. So he's not, not seen big money before, right? So let's see what this Canelo. I mean, I wish we knew what these offers were. We're not maybe gonna find out. Maybe Cop will eventually, but
we have some Matchroom fans in the chat that are saying that Heyman would never send Caleb Plant or Benavidez or any of his fighters over to fight Canelo. I feel like it's so illogical to say that I don't even need to begin to describe how illogical it is to have that opinion. Gary, I feel like is going to jump in here and make those points for me. So, Gary, tag team.
Okay, first off, he sent Ruiz over there to fight Joshua. Okay, if the fight is bigger than any fight he could possibly make by a lot, yeah, he's going to send him over there, right? And then if Caleb Plant wins or another PBC guy wins, now you have the biggest star in American boxing on your platform, right? If Ruiz didn't go over and knock out AJ, would he be the star that he is right now? Of course not.
Also want to mention that Canelo has fought Al Haymon fighters.
Has.
Like Angelina Laura. Prime example.
Austin Trout.
Prime example. Floyd Mayweather. Prime
example. Floyd Mayweather. The biggest.
I just so illogical. I can't, 3 of what Canelo's 6 biggest fights, half of his biggest fights have been Haymon fighters.
And they all went over to HBO, was it? Were they all on HBO?
Well, Trout and Showtime, everyone was on, Trout and Mayweather. That was all in-house Showtime at the time. Because
Canelo was there as well, yeah.
Yeah, that was that time. Now, Laura went over to HBO.
Okay.
Right? Laura did go over to HBO. That was after the split. So if people want to use that excuse of, oh, that was all when Heyman.
No, I wasn't. I was just generally asking.
I know you weren't. I'm just saying people. You can't even use that with Laura because Laura did go to HBO. He crossed networks, cross promoter, air quotes, lines, and fought him. So come on.
I just wonder if maybe those people's opinion is that they won't send Charlo over for what is it, 7 or 8 million? Is he going to get 7 or 8 million in house? What fight is there for Charlo in house? But they won't send him over to fight Andrade for 7, 8 million or whatever.
Can I address that? Because I wanted to address the Charlo thing. That's my guy. I think that was more kind of like they thought Charlo looked really bad in his 2 fights leading up to that. They were like, let's chill on that Canelo fight right now. I think if that offer came to him now after how good he looked against Hogan, I think they may reconsider that. I think that. I mean, I was said Charlo was going to be the guy that beat Canelo, and then he had those 2 outings in a row, and then I was like,
yes, I agree with Gary on that. Those were bad performances. Like if Charlo,
even for the Andrade fight as well.
No, not for Andrade. No.
Yeah,
no. But for when Canelo got that offer last year, that's what I think Gary's referring.
Yeah, okay. I was talking more than
Charlo was looking like dog shit, and to put him in with the best fighter at the time in the world probably would have been promotional malpractice to a degree because
he
wasn't ready for that fight. He just clearly wasn't.
But now it's more Hogan.
Benavidez is. So I have no issue. I don't think Heyman would have any issue sending them over because they're ready for that type of fight.
Well, now he's beat Hogan?
No. Now that he looked good.
He looked good against Hogan.
He looked bad against Brandon Adams.
Terrible. I think Adams was worse than
Ignore opponent, honestly. On this date, he looked like shit. On this date, he looked like shit.
Yeah.
You telling me after repeated looking like shits, you're going to go in and fight Canelo?
No, I get you. But I was bringing more up the alleged 7 million for.
No, we're gonna get to that in a bit. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I think that's a separate issue than Canelo. Because different promoters, different negotiations. Like it's just different. The only thing that's similar is does Charlo have to go to DAZN? And for one, it's Andrade, who's not Canelo.
Yeah. No, I think
You know,
for the huge fight, it's just Gary's point was for the most amount of money. If it's more than they can earn on their own network. No, my question is can a Charlo earn a 7 million purse on staying in house? That's all. That's my only angle on it.
He would probably have to move up, and it would probably have to be pay-per-view. If he moved up and fought like David Benavidez, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe.
I was thinking about
it would be a loss. I don't think it would make money on it, but like I could see that happening. But not really anything in-house at middleweight because they really don't have much at middleweight except for Derevchenko, and Derevchenko's not giving you 7 million.
Could you imagine?
Not as well. You get 2 or 3 million for that, and that's still a good purse.
Yeah. Is it worth that extra little bit to cross all the way over and make their platform look good? That's the thing. Yeah.
What about Jamal Charlo or Caleb Plant? Is that ready for pay-per-view?
There's a reason I mentioned David Benavidez.
Okay, Benavidez is.
He has the Mexican market behind him more so. You know, like I see that being a better selling fight. It would be better in terms of just highlight reels probably as well, like in terms of pure promo packages. And I would say maybe you argue that Caleb Plant has done better on TV than David Benavidez because he has done slightly better than David Benavidez on TV. He did awesome numbers on FS1, average 750, 730 with his fight with Foogatti, right? And then I think he did decent numbers on the prelims on Fox for what pay-per-view was that? Pacquiao Thurman?
It was like a lead into that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lead in. And then obviously he just did 1.3 something million in the Fast Nationals for Saturday's event yesterday. So
don't forget throw in Charlo's 250 on Showtime.
And what did he do on Fox? The biggest number ever, right? Charlo versus Korobov was the biggest.
No. Is it?
It is either 1 or 2.
I thought Thurman was.
I thought Thurman was. Those were 1 and 2. I thought Charlo was 1.
Josecito Lopez wasn't it?
Okay, then he was.
I don't remember, so I don't really care.
Yeah, who cares?
You bring up the Showtime numbers. That's just because Showtime is dying.
Yeah.
I forget what I was going to ask you guys about. Anything else you guys want to talk about with in terms of Canelo? What's next for him? Caleb Plant? Anything like that? Any other thoughts on this?
No, I think we covered it. We just got to wait and see, I guess.